Hello everyone and welcome to ZP Productions, and today's review will be on the Warm Audio WA87 Revision 2. And it's been some time since I did any form of microphone reviews. I hope you enjoy this session with me. I'm Richard and welcome to ZP Productions, and today's review will be the Warm Audio WA87 Revision 2. And usually for my microphone reviews, I have a comparison mics of about similar price and of course something that you will consider if you are buying a microphone yourself. And in this case, this is the TLM102 by Neumann, a very famous microphone, and you can easily find it anywhere on YouTube for reviews itself. And you know, the price range are really close, and if you are to buy a Warm Audio WA87, this is definitely one of the considerations that you will have. Now, this is the WA87 Revision 2. This is the Mark II version. The Mark 1 came out nearly about 4 years plus ago, and this is just out maybe a month or two. And I can show you the box here. This is the WA87 box, and it comes in two colors. Firstly, this is the nickel version. There's also the black version, very similar to Neumann. I really don't know why they keep copying Neumann to the end, but literally there is a nickel version and a black version, which is the same as what you see in the TLM102 here. Now, the microphone itself on the exterior point is really well done. I mean, it is solid everywhere. It is very hefty. When I take it out of the box, it is very well built, if you ask me. Now, the only thing about the microphone, or should I say the entire packaging itself, is the shock mount. I find the shock mount not really nice, and it's mounted at the bottom of the microphone itself. This mic is really heavy, and mounting at the bottom of the microphone requires you to have a very strong, locking mechanism at here, this point here, linked to the mic stand. And this locking mechanism, if you ask me, doesn't look very sturdy, and I'm always afraid that the mic will just flop over forward. In fact, I had to tighten really tight to prevent any form of flopping. So if you ask me, they could have improved the shock mount or use the same one as the WA251, which is clamped in the center. I'm not really sure whether is this a copy of the original U87. The U87, is it mounted at the bottom? I'm not really sure. But at least I felt that the shock mount, even if it's mounted like this, should not have been copied, because this is not a really nice design for the purpose of the shock mount itself. Now, other than that, it is really nice everywhere because it comes with the standard mounting to mount the microphone on the stand, in addition to the shock mount. And not only that, they also come in a very nice wooden box. Really, I think among all the microphones I bought, the WA series of microphones give the nicest packaging, the nicest box to put the microphone in. Now, the thing is that, of course, for this price range, all this costs money, and if you ask me, maybe for that value that they're giving us in packaging, if more can be put to the microphone itself, it would have been nicer. But the thing is, WA microphones are quite nice. I mean, I have used the WA251 and I thought that it sounded really good. And based on my testing with many of my singing friends, they always say that the WA251 is their preferred mic in a blind test. When I test 3 different microphones, normally I put a WA251 together with the Neumann TLM102, and together maybe with something like the AKG505 or maybe the Shure SM58. And normally really the WA251 will have won the competition in a blind test. Okay, enough of those talk of the WA251. This is the review of the WA87. Now, you may have noticed something along the way. You have saw that at the bottom of the screen, the microphone name has been changing. It's because I've been constantly switching the audio between the microphones so that you can have a rough understanding on which microphone is playing and how do they sound, especially when you put back to back, because our memory is really quite bad for audio, and normally we only can hold maybe a few seconds of audio memory and then we forget about it. Yes, we think that mic A is nice, also we think that mic B is nice, and more often than not, we are affected by the price. I mean, if we say that the Neumann TLM102 is a more premium mic in terms of pricing, we may be biased with it. But if I was to put it side by side and compare immediately after I would say as paragraph after paragraph, you will notice the difference between them, and you may favor one over the other. But in addition to all this swapping of the audio tracks in between my review themselves. I will also do a bit of synthetic test, and I will put at the end of this review a little bit of what my my friend sings, and let you guys hear a bit of female vocals on the microphones themselves. Now, just a note, my friend just did it for me for this review itself, so it's not the very, very best take, but it allows you to understand a little bit on the female vocals themselves and how it is affected by the microphones. And I also put in with the audio track to let you see how it sits on the audio track, and a little bit of compression to let you see what's the effect of compression on the voices coming out of those microphones themselves. There's something I forgot to cover earlier, and that is the WA87 frequency chart. And you can see in this WA87 frequency chart itself, there is a very, very flat frequency throughout, from like 50 all the way to maybe about 5K, and then there is a bump at around 8K. So 5K to 10K, the bump goes up and then it goes down at the end. But overall, if you ask me, relatively flat curve with an emphasis on the back here. Now, whether does this emphasis on the back is audible or not, that's something for you to listen and for me to find out when I actually review the clips on these microphones themselves. Now, as with my reviews for microphones themselves, I usually come in a few stages. Firstly, there is the plosive test, followed by a proximity and the distance test. Then we have room ambient and noise test, and then we have the tapping on the keyboards and tapping on the table to let you guys hear how the mics reject ambient sound or reject tapping sound, or how the mic actually reacts to things like tapping on the stand itself, see all the vibration sound to the microphone. And lastly, we have the polar pattern test. This is to test how the mic sounds from the front, side and back. Just to note that the WA87 has a few polar patterns. It has the standard condenser cardioid pattern, and then it has the Omi pattern, and followed by a figure of 8. Today we will just purely be testing on the cardioid pattern, because that is something that we will always use for most of our spoken words or even singing itself. I will have one more test, which is a soft and loud test, and that's to see how the mic respond to soft words and of course to very loud shouting, and to see really is there any weird sound when the volume goes higher. I did notice that some mics over the years really do exhibit those characteristics. So firstly, we have the plosive test. Now, the thing is that I always have a pop filter here. I'll be removing the pop filter for the plosive test, but after that, I will put it back in so that, we can have a better gauge of the sound rather than to fight plosives themselves. This is a plosive test. Peter Piper pick a peck of pickled peppers. This is a plosive test. Peter Piper pick a peck of pickled peppers. This is the plosive test. Peter Piper pick a peck of pickled peppers. This is a plosive test. Peter Piper pick a peck of pickled peppers. Now we have the next test, which is proximity and distance test. So we'll go really close first. 1 feet away. Hello, this is 1 feet away. Hello, this is 1 feet away. 1 feet away. Hello, this is 1 feet away. Hello, this is 1 feet away. And 2 feet away. Hello, this is 2 feet away. Hello, this is 2 feet away. Now we have the next test, which is proximity and distance test. So we'll go really close first. 1 feet away. Hello, this is 1 feet away. Hello, this is 1 feet away. 1 feet away. Hello, this is 1 feet away. Hello, this is 1 feet away. And 2 feet away. Hello, this is 2 feet away. Hello, this is 2 feet away. Then we have the room ambient and self noise test. Then we have the room ambient and self noise test. Next, we will have the tapping on the table. I review some of my table here. I have tapping on the keyboard. And lastly, I have tapping on the stands. Next, we will have the tapping on the table. I review some of my table here. I have tapping on the keyboard. And lastly, I have tapping on the stands. Now the stands are not the same, so that test is just to let you hear how the sound actually gets transferred to the microphones, but take it with a pinch of salt because the stands are different in this case. I don't have two similar stands. And next will be the polar pattern test. This is the polar pattern test of the WA87 revision 2, and this is the front. Now this is the left side of the WA87, and I'm rotating it counterclockwise. Now this is the back of the WA87, and we are rotating it counterclockwise, and this is the right side of the WA87, and finally we are back at the front of the WA87. This is the cardioid pattern of the WA87 revision 2. This is the TLM102, and this is the front of the TLM102. This is the left side of the TLM102, and this is the back of the TLM102, and lastly this is the right side of the TLM102. And now we are back to the front of the TLM102. And lastly we have the soft and loud test. Hello everyone, this is a very, very soft voice. Hello everyone, this is a very, very loud voice. And lastly we have the soft and loud test. Hello everyone, this is a very, very soft voice. Hello everyone, this is a very, very loud voice. And that's about it for the test themselves. I will have to review them, and then after that get back to you guys a little bit of the conclusion. But before that, let's hear my friend singing, Sabi, and she will be doing a little bit of short song. I mean, this song that she do is a little bit shouty, and it is a Japanese song, Japanese animation song. So just to know, some of you guys may not enjoy it, but for the purpose of this review, let's take a look and listen to it.
不安定な思想離れすぎて片方見えない不安定な思想離れすぎて片方見えない不安定な思想離れすぎて片方見えない不安定な思想離れすぎて片方見えない不安定な思想離れすぎて片方見えない不安定な思想離れすぎて片方見えない Oh, stay your life 今はどんなことも出るのでしょう Oh, stay your life 今はどんなことも出るのでしょう Oh, stay your life 今はどんなことも出るのでしょう Oh, stay
So pretty much this is the end of the review itself. I have heard whatever we recorded just now, and of course I also heard my own voice, alternating between them while I'm mixing, while I'm doing this video. And yeah, sure, that I also heard what my friend sang for her song itself. And there's a few conclusion and a few things I came about doing that short little clip in front, and now I'm doing the end summary to merge it behind. And firstly is that when it comes to the synthetic test, both mics are really similar. If you ask me, the most distinct difference is firstly, the plosives sound different. I'll say as the WA87 here has a slightly louder plosive, but the TLM102 has a more, I think, disturbing plosive, because the plosives tend to linger and then affect the sound a little bit more than the WA87. Yes, it is louder here, but it just disappears a lot quicker and then it goes back to normal tone, while this guy tend to linger around just slightly more. Just my feeling when it comes to plosives themselves. When it comes to proximity, it is about the same. Maybe because the WA87 has a slightly more body type of sound, a heavier body sound. The difference between the proximity effect is not as much. I did notice that the TLM102 has slightly more proximity effect if you really want that close-in deep voice sound, and I think that's a TLM102 is slightly better in that. When it comes to self-noise, I would say as because my breathing was quite loud, but I managed to concentrate a little bit more. Sorry to the viewers out there who have heard my breathing, which is very loud. But even then, it was minus 50 dB on my chart on my meter. I mean, the whole video was at minus 20 to minus 12 dB, but that part was minus 50 dB. I had to lift it 12 dB so that you guys can hear it. But that being said, the WA87 has more noise. I think about 4 dB more noise than the TLM102, because at the lowest point is like 58 here, and this guy is about 54, minus 54 and minus 58. So there is about minus 4 dB difference. When any form of noise enters the frame, be it keyboard or table, both of them will sound the same. Minus 1 dB difference between them. So when I was tapping the keyboard here, both of them gave me about minus 50 dB. When I was tapping the table, I think both of them gave me like minus 40 dB. So they were very similar the moments any form of noise is introduced in. But their own self-noise, I would say as the WA87 is slightly noisier than the TLM102. Now that may be because there is more amplification required. The WA87 requires actually 47 gain from my mix pre-tree, while the TLM102 only required minus 40 gain to get about the same level of sound. So maybe it's because of the additional amplifier, and then maybe that's why there is more noise. I'm not too sure on that, but that may be one of the case, because my plus 7 gain probably contributed to 2 dB of noise. I'm not too sure. Now that being said, when it goes to the other tests, I find that they were very, very similar, so I will not talk about them. Now, most importantly, when it comes to the vocal comparison, I have been alternating my voice between the two mics for the entire video. You probably can hear it already. And not only that, just now when my friend was singing, I actually did the video, you have saw it earlier. I went from vocal plus backing, plus compression on the vocal themselves. And you can clearly hear one thing is that the TLM102 is definitely a brighter mic. It is also a lighter mic. I find that the WA87 is a heavier mic, and there is more smoothing at the top end. It just felt like there is no very bright and distortion at the top. It just feels a lot smoother, while this TLM102 felt like there's a bit of shrill and distortion at times compared to the WA87. And if you ask me really, the sound raw, without any backing anything, the WA87 felt like it is slightly processed, while the TLM felt very raw itself, really raw sound. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? I'm not too sure, but it does give a nice body to the vocals themselves. Gives a slightly heavier mid, if you ask me, and that is how the WA87 sound. And the moment you add a backing track onto the vocals themselves, you notice that this heavier mid on the WA87 that does contribute to a better sitting, or better, I would say, as sitting of the vocal on the track himself. It just felt easier to identify and concentrate on the vocal, while the TLM102 just get a bit lost here and there. You can hear, but it's like strain and trying to cut through the backing track itself, that is how I felt when you start putting the backing track on the way, especially at the shouty parts. The shouty parts themselves, really, the WA87 really felt like it is more prominent in the track itself. Even though both of them are exactly the same level, I did not tweak the levels in any way. But yes, the WA87 just felt like it is cutting through all the backings slightly easier, even without any form of compression. And now, once you enter the compression stage, it just felt about the same. Once you add compression in, yes, the TLM102 just felt a little bit brighter still, while the WA87 felt like there is more body. It feels really, really close to each other. If you ask me, the biggest difference between both of them when you start to compress their vocals to meet the backing track is that the WA87 felt like the singer is more natural. It feels like he's more relaxed and less strained, while the TLM102 felt like the singer is slightly strained, slightly like trying to fight against the backing track just a little. Now, maybe that can be EQ'd away, I'm not too sure, but that is the feeling I get. It just feels like the singer is more strained when using the TLM102, and the singer is more relaxed when using the WA87. It felt smoother and like easier on the singer, even though the singer is just singing the same thing to both of those mics at that point of time. Now, that is pretty much my conclusion between both of these mics. Is one mic truly better than the other? I don't really think so. In fact, in terms of details and difference themselves, I think it's very, very minimal. I mean, it really depends on what you do. I mean, the moment you start putting backing tracks, I would say as the WA87 is slightly better. But if you're just leaving the vocals raw themselves, I would say as it depends on personal preference. Do you want a more light and more trebly type of sound? Then you go for the TLM102. If you want a bit more weight to the body of your vocals, then you go to the WA87 Revision 2 here. Overall, both of these mics are really, really nice. And now, if you ask for my personal opinion, I will definitely prefer the WA87 Revision 2 here, and that's because for the purpose of voice, especially I'm a male one, I just want more weight in my voice itself. And not only that, when it comes to singing, right, my friend, when she was singing itself, I just felt that it was easier to mix with the WA87 outcome than the TLM102. I just felt that there is a little bit more processing required just to make the voice sit better in the mix itself compared to the WA87. It just felt easier to sit onto the mix. But that being said, the TLM102 just gave a little bit more airy, a bit more soft type of feel to the voice itself. Yes, it feels a bit more strained, but maybe I don't know whether you can EQ that away. I'm not too sure. But really, when I was hearing the voice raw, there are certain parts that sound better on the TLM102, especially if that part requires soft-spoken, airy voice. And really, the TLM102 does it better. It just felt softer, more airy with the TLM102 compared to the WA87. And that's about it for today. I hope you enjoy this review itself. I noticed that it is a little long because by the time I did my first part, it was like 14 minutes, and now I'm adding the back part. I'm not sure how long is it, but I'm guessing it's going to be like some 20-minute video here. But really, I wanted to say, really want to cover as much as possible because both of these mics are not really the cheapest mic, and for home mics, they are pretty expensive, really. I mean, both of them are nearly $1,000 Sing, so about 600 USD and about 700 plus 800 USD. So really, buying either of these mic is a big decision from the equipment point of view, and I want to really give you this video to give you a better understanding between both of them, and therefore make a better choice. I mean, there are many comparison videos out there, but a lot of the videos also, they just either cover just the WA87 itself, or they just do singing. They don't do many other things like really comparing with all the various small little tests in between, which may matter to you. And I hope that this video really helps you in making a decision at the 500 to 1000 USD mark between both of them. And I hope you enjoy this short video. Not really short, but I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you next time. Remember, if you like this video, do like and subscribe to my channel. I will definitely do more mic reviews whenever I buy it, because both of these mics are purchased by me. There is no biasness. I just use whatever mic I like based on my friend who comes and sing. I have a few of them that likes to come to my place to sing, so I just use whatever I like to produce the music for them. So no preference here, and everything is my own hard-earned money. So I hope that I can give you a more balanced point of view. And that's about it for today. I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.